Hey everybody, welcome to day one of the 60-day novel writing challenge. I am Halie, your host, and I am so excited to have you here and excited that you're making this commitment to yourself and to your writing. Definitely make sure that you hit that subscribe button below because I don't want you to miss a single video, and we are just going to dive right in. Today we're starting with character development, which is absolutely the backbone of every story. So whatever it is you're drinking today, I myself am drinking a nice cup of coffee in my lovely Washington mug. Go ahead and grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. All right, guys, so we are going to dive right in. Now, the goal of the 60-day novel writing challenge is, of course, to write a whole book in the course of 60 days, but we are breaking that down into the first half is idea generation and then getting those ideas organized into an outline. And the second half, that second 30 days, is actually writing the book. So for the first half of the first half, meaning first 15 days, we are just solely going to be coming up with ideas. And where do ideas come from is one of the biggest questions I ever get asked. And the answer is everywhere. So today's prompt is going to be all about character development, and I have really cool character worksheets for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. But the goal behind it is that while you're filling out these sheets, you want to come up with 10 ideas about your actual story itself that are going to go into the full book. So it can be ideas just about snippets of conversation, about scenes, about how the world's going to work. It can be really anything, but you're going to be putting those ideas into a separate document. And the ultimate goal is that every day for these first 15 days, you're going to have 10 ideas per day. So we'll get 10 today while we're figuring out our character worksheets, and then 10 tomorrow while we're doing world building, and then 10 the next day. And by the end of our first 15 days, you should have 150 total ideas. Although if you want to do more, go ahead and go crazy. If you're just full of crazy ideas you want to put down today, go ahead and do those as well. Now, I've put a link in the description below to some really cool character worksheets that I've made for you guys. So that's what we're going to be going through first of all today, is filling out, it's basically like a personality quiz for your imaginary characters. So what I want you to do, whatever program you want to use, whether it's Word or Google Docs, I'm going to use Scrivener, and I'll show you that in just a second here. Whatever you want to use, I want you to make 3 different documents. And one of them is going to be your notes and ideas documents, and then the other 2 are going to be character worksheets. All right, so I'm going to show you mine here. This is what I was just mentioning, Scrivener. And the reason I like this so much is because down the left side of the sheet here, you can just make documents all day long. So this is going to be one of my character worksheets. This is the second one. And then I have my notes and ideas as a different document. It is such a cool program. Anyway, for the first character worksheet, I want you to fill out 2 of them today in their entirety for 2 of your main characters. And we're going to be going through a lot of the things in here. So what I want you to keep in mind is to not give me one-word answers. Well, you're not really giving them to me, first of all, because these are for you. I'm never going to see these. But really try to be robust and creative with your answers, because that is what's going to help you generate those ideas that then are going to go into your notes and ideas worksheet. So, beginning with the name, that one you can give me just a couple of words for for an answer. That doesn't have to be super robust, it's just their name. Same with if they have any aliases, nicknames, or titles. But once you get into their appearance, I really want you to be as descriptive as you can with this and think outside the box. So don't just think about their hair color, the hair length, the skin color, and the eye color. Those kind of seem to be like the big 4 that you hear when people are first starting out on describing their characters. But I want you to think a lot deeper. I want you to think about things like, what's the texture of their hair look like? And do they have big pouty lips, or a bump in the middle of their nose, or eyebrows that are so arched that they look like they're permanently angry? Think of things that are really creative and outside of the box for the appearance, because you won't believe where you're going to find inspiration. It can come from anywhere, but this is one of the really good places when you start really describing your character in depth. It might give you more ideas about their personality, which then gives you ideas for scenes. Okay, what do they wear? So gosh, for one of my characters, I know I want her to have a magic dress, and I don't know a lot about it yet. This is something I'm going to figure out as I come up with ideas, but it's probably given to her by somebody exciting. So think about what they wear. Again, be creative about it. Don't just be like pants and a shirt. Think about what are their favorite colors to wear. Are they like a bright personality, or are they kind of a dark and broody personality? That's going to come through a lot in what they wear as well. What kind of equipment do they bring with them? And I put, of course, there's some notes on here as well. I said maybe they have a sentimental purse that's from their great grandmother or was hand beaded, or they might have a magic staff. Their origins are super important. So where are they from? And talk about their hometown. What did they like or dislike about it? You know, if it was a small town, why did they like or dislike that? If it was the big city, what did they like or dislike? Or did they hate the climate? Or do they, you know, why did they leave? Or are they still there? Is there something keeping them there? And then we're going to talk all about the characters' secrets, quirks, fears, talents, ineptitudes, hobbies, their temperament, that's a big one, their personality. Again, try to be robust in your answers. Don't just give one-word answers. And then for each of the following areas of school, I know that this seems a little bit, especially if they're not in school anymore, if you have an adult character, you're like, well, I don't know how much it matters how much they like math or English or science. But this is a good thing for you to know for consistency of your characters. So maybe if you're writing book 2 later, if you have these character worksheets now, it's extremely helpful to know if one of your characters is really good at math or really loves music. Because later when you're writing your second book, you might be trying to think of something related to that character, and it's super nice to be able to come back and see the things that they're good at and have that consistency throughout your series without having to reread your whole first book to see that, oh yeah, this character liked music. It's really nice to have it here on your worksheets. Okay, so for their schooling, if they're in school, I want to know like their whole attitude about school. So if it's a high school student or a middle school student, I want to know, what do they like about school? Are they just there because they have to be? Do they really enjoy it? Do they do all the extracurriculars? Do they have good friends? Do they not have good friends? And then if they're out of school, we want to know what kind of degree did they have? Did they like school when they were in it? Are they glad to be out? And then if they are out of school and they're in the workplace, I want to know all about like their work ethic and their attitude towards their job. Do they like it? Do they hate it? Is it their dream job? But also give a really big and descriptive why for why they feel that way. Oh, so this is one of the best parts, is how does your character view ethics and morality? And ethics and morality is one of my favorite things about characters because there is so much to explore. There's so many lines to see, oh, would my character cross this line or wouldn't they cross this line? So kind of go into some depth about your character's ethics and morality and what it is they believe and what kind of lines they might not cross. And then getting into beliefs, are they religious? Are they maybe superstitious? Do they believe that you don't want to cross a black cat? Do they have silly beliefs? This can really be endearing to your readers if your character has a very silly belief, maybe about black cats or about ladders or about something that's not even one of the regular superstitions. And then of course, if your character has magic, this would be if we're in a fantasy world, I want to know all about their powers and like how do they work and what are the weaknesses, what are the drawbacks? Because every sort of a magic system has to have some sort of a drawback to it. Otherwise it's like too good and too easy and there's no story because they can just fix everything with magic. We're going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow during world building, but as of today, just think about magic related to your character. How does it work for them? And then what are some of the things they like? What are some of the things they dislike? I know for sure I have a pet peeve that I want to give one of my characters, which is that she hates when people say she's good at remembering names because she is going to work really hard at remembering names. And so when people come up and are like, oh yeah, you're really good at remembering names, she's going to be just, that's going to be her trigger because she actually works really hard at it and she doesn't like when people assume that she's very good at it. So think of a creative pet peeve, not just some of the regular old ones. Now describe your character's sense of humor. So senses of humor can be so different. So like for me, I think the puns are great, but one sense of humor that I just don't relate with at all is like when people are getting hurt. So when there's those YouTube videos of some kid just getting whacked in the head with a basketball, and I don't get it at all. It's just not something that I find funny, but I see other people just like slapping their knees in laughter, just having a great time thinking that's hilarious. And so I don't get it, but I could write a character with that sense of humor. You know, I can write the character who likes puns, and I can write the character who likes maybe some flirty kind of humor, and I can write the one who likes a little bit of darker humor. So you want to understand other people's senses of humor, even if you don't necessarily share them, because your characters might have that kind of a sense of humor. Think about how other people view your character. So when they walk into the room, are people like awed by their beauty? Are they scared of them? Do they kind of give off a vibe that they're a little bit dangerous? Do they have status? Do they look like they're powerful and wealthy? Or maybe do they look like they're poor and like they need a nice lunch? You want to really think about how other people view them when they walk into the room. And then, tell us all about their romantic life. I want lots and lots of details. Even if they don't have a romantic life, they've liked somebody in their life. Everybody likes somebody. So go into some depth about, like, this doesn't even have to go into your book at any point. This might not ever be mentioned, but you should know as a writer what kind of past relationships your character has had and how they've influenced them and maybe what they're looking for in a romantic partner. And then we want to talk about their family, of course, their siblings, their aunts and uncles and grandparents. And we want to talk about their relationship with each of those family members. You know, it's super important to our story to know if our main character hates their brother or loves their mom and has coffee with their mom every Tuesday. That's really important to understanding who the character is as a whole. So the goal for today's homework is to fill out at least 2 character worksheets. And again, you can find the link for those in the description below. I made you some really cool ones. So fill out 2 of them, and while you're going through these, they should give you ideas for your notes and ideas section, ideas that are going to go into the book. You want to come up with at least 10, but if you want to do more than 10, definitely go crazy. Also, if you want to do more than 2 character worksheets, if you're feeling really inspired and you want to do 6 of them, go ahead. I mean, this is all you. But definitely come up with at least 10 ideas, and it can be anything. It can be just as you're coming up with these characters and you see one of your characters is afraid of the dark, that's their fear, but another character's magic power is to see in the dark. Maybe that gives you a really cool idea for a scene where one character is scared and vulnerable because it's dark outside and they're afraid, and the other one is able to see everything in the dark and is there to comfort them. That might just be one of your ideas that goes into this notes and ideas section. And the thing to know about this is nothing is set in stone in this notes and ideas section. So if you feel like your idea is kind of dumb, write it down anyways. You might use it, you might not use it, but definitely put it down because it might come back and be really cool later. Now I'm going to jump off and do a couple of these character worksheets myself. I'm actually really excited for it. I'm writing a book at the same time as you are, so I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I've got a lot of ideas already for the characters and for the notes and ideas section. So definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you aren't missing a single video throughout the next 60 days. And thank you so much for joining me for day 1. I will see you tomorrow.